Editing Haley here. I'm going to insert the time in which the book signing stuff happens in case you just want to skip forward. I do talk about my experience after it, but if you don't want to see the whole 20 minutes of footage I had before this, I understand. This is an hour-long video. Or very close to it by the time I'm done editing, but I will leave the timestamp here if you are just skipping to the actual book signing or Mariah's music, because I know I had several Star Kid fans ask me for Mariah's song that she wrote for We Have Reached the End of Our Show. Thank you. Goodbye. Enjoy the video. Hey guys, my name is Haley and we're starting a reading vlog. I haven't done my weekly vlog in I think 2 weeks now because I did a 24-hour readathon before this one, which went up the previous Friday. Assuming that this goes up on time. Life has been very chaotic. Me and my partner might be moving again, and I'm not thrilled about it. And also, everything is so expensive. If any of you have moved recently and you had trouble affording it, please let me know any tips or tricks because it's been a lot. And we also are moving with only the stuff in our car, and a bunch of our other stuff is in a storage unit. So not how I meant to start this vlog, but also, if you like my content, if you are new here, if you like queer books, if you like horror books, I have to do this spiel now so I can get myself out of YouTube purgatory. Please go subscribe, like, comment, interact with the video in some way. I would really appreciate it. But yeah, we're going to start my weekly reading vlog. I have just finished 2 books in the last couple of days. I read Catabasis and You Weren't Meant to Be Human. I just finished You Weren't Meant to Be Human last night. And if you have been here for a minute, you might know that Andrew Joseph White is one of my favorite authors. He wrote one of my favorite books, which is The Spirit Bears Its Teeth. It was one of my favorite books of last year. I was blown away by that book, and I'm pissed off that I wasn't vlogging while I was reading it because I would love to scream about it. You might still hear me talk about it because it's not going to leave my brain. It was a lot. But I started Fable for the End of the World by Ava Reed last night. I'm like 15 or so percent into that. So that's probably what you're going to see me reading a lot. In this vlog, I also really want to start a nonfiction because I am in between. Like, it's been a minute since I read a nonfiction, and since I'm reading a Kindle book, I would like to read one of my nonfiction books physically. So the 2 I currently am reaching for is The God Delusion, due to the religious psychosis in America right now with the death of a certain person that I've been screaming and dealing with people on the internet for the last 2 weeks. So I want to read that because I feel like it's applicable to my life right now. And I also have Crisis in Care, Queer Activist Responses to a Global Pandemic, because we're still in a pandemic. If you agree with any of these things, please go subscribe down below because I'm trying to find my people. And as somebody who left a religious cult several years ago, what a time to live in America. Am I right? Okay. So today I'm planning on reading this. I'm hoping to film an annotation video today because I haven't filmed a sit down video in a minute. Like my wrap up that went up last, I believe it will have been the last video before this one goes up because I've only really been able to upload one thing a week with all the chaos of my life of low-key nannying and the possibilities of constantly moving and all of that. Because me and my partner are low-key a little bit homeless. If by definition we are technically, because our name is not on a lease anywhere, because we got priced out of our house in Ohio. I didn't mean to trauma dump at the beginning of this video, but you're going to hear a lot of my ramblings in this probably because I'm very stressed and I need to just start another vlog or I'm never going to go back to vlogging. So I'm going to go read Fable for the End of the World. Why am I reading this one? Because I have seen the special edition twice in stores, once in a Half Price Books and another one in a Barnes & Noble the other day when I picked up a new release. And this book with the sprayed edges is beautiful. I do know of Ava Reed. I know that they wrote A Study in Drowning, which I've vaguely wanted to read for years, which I think I might own on ebook because I get a lot of ebooks when they're for sale for like $2 on Kindle. But yeah. This is where I'm starting it because I heard it was similar to Hunger Games. And as somebody who's read like 15% of it, I can agree it gives Hunger Games. So that's how I'm going to start this vlog. Probably one of the more chaotic vlogs. Also, is it even me starting a vlog if I hadn't just gotten out of the shower? I feel like every single one of my weekly vlogs starts this way. But yes, I'm going to take you along with me during my week. I hope y'all enjoyed this, or are enjoying this, or going to enjoy. I'm done talking. Welcome to the chaos. Hello, update. I have started the God Delusion, and I feel like I'm really gonna enjoy this. I already immediately got up within the first 2 pages and grabbed my annotation supplies, which at this point I will go back and tab it after because that tabbing is what slows me down a lot of the time. So I grabbed a pen and a highlighter. And I at first was very concerned that this is going to be Christian propaganda because I don't know, something about this gave me that, but also it was written by a scientist, so I was like, maybe not. So I went to the Goodreads reviews, and there's a bunch of Christians giving it 1 star, and I was like, yes, that's the information I needed. So I read 30 pages of this, and this is really interesting because the biggest takeaway I've gotten so far is that he is arguing on behalf of the fact that children, like small children, cannot be Christians or cannot adhere to a religion because they don't know anything else and they are not old enough to make that decision. Well, I will say, I can't tell if he means small children. I am assuming this is what he means because I do think, especially in now, like today's day and age, teenagers absolutely are politically aware and aware of religion and aware of things like cults and culty religions and stuff. So bear in mind this was written in 2006, which was like 20 years ago almost. So I am keeping that in mind with this, but I feel like I'm really going to enjoy it. This is a hit so far. And then I am another, I don't even know how far I got. Hold on. 34%. So like another 15 or so percent into this. If you like the Hunger Games, if you want the Hunger Games but in one book, if you want the Hunger Games but queer, there's a sapphic thing going on here. Nothing sapphic has super happened yet, but I'm very excited for it. I also have heard a lot about Ava Reed's books in general, which I think I mentioned in my earlier videos. But yes, these are what I will be reading for the rest of the afternoon. And I don't think I'm going to get up to a... oh my god, my voice is disappearing. I don't think I'm going to be getting up to a whole lot. I've been a little bit on the cult side of TikTok, but also TikTok is low-key cooked right now because of the new updates and leftist TikTok is suffering. So if you're here from TikTok, which I highly doubt, I only have I don't even think I have 200 followers on TikTok yet. This is my main platform. I do also have a Bookstagram and a regular Instagram and all of that, but this is my main platform. If you're going to follow me anywhere, please follow me here. But I'm going to sit here and read for a little while. It's also not 100 degrees today. It's only been I think it's in the 80s today. And it stormed last night, which maybe this is just the dumb East Coaster in me from having grown up mostly in Ohio for most of my life. But I didn't know that it had full on storms here. To be fair, it was a very short storm. But that was a whole thing that happened last night. And yeah, I don't think I have anything else interesting to update on right now. I will talk to you later. Goodbye. Am I pretending like I didn't forget to film this and brought out a couple things for the grocery haul? Yes. We went to Aldi. So I got some avocados. We got sesame oil because I use it in everything and we were out of it. I got several of these. If you have been to, I don't know if this is a Western thing or not. I'm in Vegas. But they have these blueberry lemonade probiotic waters and they're actually really good. And I'm somebody who hates flavored water. So go in knowing that. We also got some Olippops. This is really the only Ollie that I like, but my partner really likes them. I got some of these cold brew teas to try. We got the peach, the lemon tea, and then a regular sweet tea. And then I'm obsessed with these. Actually, let me go grab the other one. I'm obsessed with these right now. These are what I've been eating with just tortillas every single night for the last week. It's my new hyperfixation. And that is, they have these plant-based Southwest burrito bowls with chipotle peppers, and there's no actual meat in it. I literally had the cashier ask me if I was vegan because I got so many of these. I think I got 6 of each. And then the other one is plant-based taco filling with traditional seasoning. I literally don't even know what's in these. I think it's made with, a lot of them are made with tofu, but these are really good with just tortillas and also with avocado. And then 90% of what I eat, as I've mentioned before, is tuna. So I got 10. Whenever I see these, they're like 70 cents. I get a shit ton of them. And then the spicy, which is what I use in my bowls. And then also, I am not much of a drinker. I don't drink very often. But I also have been on the hunt for a wine out here because they don't have my favorite wine. My favorite wine is the Duplin. Is it the Scuppernong Blush? It's my favorite thing. It's been my favorite since I lived in Georgia. So I keep scouring the internet trying to find ones that are similar. And this was suggested. This is what I'm drinking right now. It's pretty good. It's not the same. It's a good dupe, for lack of a better term. And then I've learned via the internet that I like sweet reds. So I got this Oliver Winery sweet red. I also had another person comment on these. Apparently, White Claw has green apple now. Green apple is my favorite flavor of any drink ever. So I obviously had to try these. I also have very vivid memories of when I moved away from Georgia because I was really upset about it and moved back to Ohio before I even met my partner. I used to drink White Claws, specifically the lime ones were my favorite. We'll see how these hold up to it. And watch Bob's Burgers, which is like the only adult cartoon that I enjoy. But yeah, we didn't get a ton of stuff from Aldi. We also got some like frozen chicken because I also eat a lot of popcorn chicken, which my partner does as well. Oh, I also got cucumbers. So I eat a lot of cucumber. This would have been a lot more coherent if I had filmed it when I actually got home, which was like 20 minutes ago. My partner is also obsessed with these. I'm not the biggest fan. There were lime ones that were pretty good, but he's obsessed with these mango fruit bars. If you want more suggestions for Aldi. And then last, I've been craving ice cream even though I'm lactose intolerant and I just take Lactaid, and we got these. What are they called? Sundae cones? Dunkin' cones, whatever you call them. But yeah, that's my Aldi haul. I think we're going to go watch Nightmare Time while I sip at my wine. My partner does not drink, so we're just going to be cozy for the rest of the night. So we'll see if I update it all because I'm not sure that wine and vlogging should mix for me. Honestly, I don't even know. I mentioned Nightmare Time and I'm not sure that people actually know what that is. So Star Kid has shows set in this universe. Hatchetfield, the show I just went and saw in LA like a month. Was that a month ago? A month and a half ago? It's almost October. Was called The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals, which was the first one set in Hatchetfield. My favorite is Black Friday. And my iPad closed out the video. And they have these whoa, oh my god. If you live in Vegas or anywhere near it, do you get ads for the freaking Horror Unleashed, whatever it is? It's like Buy the Meow Wolf. I love Meow Wolf, but give me another. That ad is like nonstop here. Anyways, Star Kid during the pandemic did these like sort of half performed, half, what's the word I'm looking for? Half like almost Zoom meeting style theater shows, and they were all short stories set in the Hatchetfield universe that Guy and Black Friday and Nerdy Birds Miss Dyer set in. If you're not a Star Kid fan, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. That's also fine. I'd be happy to introduce people to Star Kid if you like musicals. Even if you don't, my partner's not a huge musical fan, as I've learned trying to show him other non-Star Kid shows. I've learned that I've spoiled the shit out of him with Star Kid stuff because he likes the Star Kid stuff way more than he likes. Like, I showed him Shrek the musical and he's like, I was like, I get it. You don't like Shrek. I've known about this musical since I was in like middle school. So I have the nostalgia factor with it, even though I'm not the biggest Shrek person in general. Like most millennials go hard for Shrek. I'm not one of those. I would rather watch the musical. But anyway, I think we're going to watch Nightmare Time because they are spooky, scary stories. They are. They're usually horror. That entire universe is horror. So I think we're going to watch an episode or so tonight. That's what I'm doing for the night. No more reading will be had this evening. Good morning. I am doing laundry. We did, in fact, watch Nightmare Time last night. I love everything that Star Kid does. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm trying to decide what I'm going to eat for breakfast. I think I made overnight oats. Yes, I did. Okay. We have some overnight oats of the people we're living with actually gave me these things of like oatmeal. They're blueberry walnut superfood oatmeal, and I actually really like them. So, yeah, in case you were wondering, when I said I got a lot of these like burrito bowl things, this is our food situation, which I don't know that I've fully explained. The people we are living with are friends of my partner's. He worked with her for a while. Her husband has been on a work trip, so I've been helping with childcare, which is our situation right now because we cannot afford any rent out here. We also couldn't afford the rent in Ohio where we were when we moved out here. So that's the situation. Is I've been doing a lot of childcare and like housework and stuff in exchange for us not paying rent. I know a lot of people think that's weird. I know that we've been given a timeline of 3 months to figure something out, and we've been trying. My partner also has like a part-time Amazon store thing that he runs, but that's been finicky lately, so that's been a stressor on finances and stuff. And I am currently super burnt out from childcare. So when it comes time for me to have to get another job, which I'm probably going to have to soon, I would prefer for this to take off because I have a strong suspicion, as somebody who, this is a little TMI, but also I don't know that I've ever talked about it. I do not have any form of healthcare because I can't afford it. And I haven't had it since 2023. I think that was when I quit my, not to dox company, kindercare job, because I hated it and I almost didn't go back to childcare at all after that. But I found my subbing job, which I did for almost 2 years, which I just recently quit. I won't dox them because that's still a little newer and a lot of those people still follow me. I ended up quitting that, one, because I was super burnt out from childcare, and two, because we were moving. And I obviously could not keep that after leaving Ohio. But also, I quit like 3 weeks early because they needed some time to figure out someone to replace me because I was at a center that was very picky with subs. And I was like their favorite, and I'd been there for like 9 months, and they were very upset that I was leaving. And then my boss, my newer boss, not the one that hired me, I really had a lot of issues with, and they started using AI stuff in our Slack channel right before I left. And I was like, wow, I'm so glad that I quit my job because that's an absolutely not for me. So yeah, there's a little tea on why Haley ended up quitting even outside of us moving. But yeah, I'm doing laundry today. I'm going to eat some of my overnight oats. And then I think I'm going to continue Fable for the End of the World right now. I also, I scheduled I've been doing these weekly what I read this week every Sunday. Sometimes it goes up on Monday because I forget. But I've been doing shorts of those. So if you want like updates specifically just on what I'm reading each week, I take a clip every night of what I've read that day. And I've been doing that for, I think, over a month now, about a month maybe. On top of my weekly vlogs, which is what I'm starting back up with these. But yeah. I'm gonna go eat breakfast and read a little bit. I'm back. It's like 10 minutes later. I wanted to talk about Fable for the End of the World because I don't remember if I even said very much besides that it's like Hunger Games. What I'm really enjoying about this is that it's two different perspectives. It's the perspective of the girl who got, what's it called? I forget what they call it in here, but like if you got raped in the Hunger Games, it's only one person that gets raped, and then like they're live streamed as the angel hunts them. So instead of a bunch of kids, somebody from what is essentially the capital in this world ends up being like live streamed until they can kill this other person. But the person who gets raped gets a head start, obviously, because they are at the disadvantage. But the really interesting part is that we get the perspective of the angel, which is this like genetically, scientifically like technologically advanced human that has been taken and had their memory wiped, so they don't really know what actually like where they came from, and sometimes they get flashes, but you can have your memory wiped like so many times before you start to like lose your sanity. And there's also like a little Handmaid's Tale part of this where we find out that once they are done with you being an angel, because you are controlled by the powers that be in this situation as an angel and forced to kill people, is that we get the perspective of what happens when you're a retired angel. You would basically get a lobotomy and become like the wife of some like wealthy man in this world, whether you were straight or not. Like there's a whole sapphic undertone, at least that's what I've interpreted as one of the angel that we're following, who she has an older friend or an old friend of hers who it is implied that they were like interested in each other romantically, who has had this lobotomy essentially and like had her entire memory wiped and was forced to marry some like rich guy, which is really scary because this not only has the elements of like the live streamed TV show of killing people, but also it has the Handmaid's Tale of once you are no longer of use to us, you just have to be a housewife and like have babies, I assume, which is really, really scary. But I also really like being in our angel's head because she is talking about, I feel like it's a very good look into the heads of celebrity in general, because angels are celebrities in this world and they become like high profile people and they can't just like go out into the world on top of all the enhanced and like genetic enhancements that have been given to them. Like they get a new eye so they can like see things. I think it's like infrared and stuff. And they like bleach the shit out of at least this girl's hair so it's like white rather than blonde, which is what she was originally, as you can see kind of by the cover. But it's also a really interesting look into celebrity because there's like a whole scene where she's chasing down our other main character and she's like, well, the live stream is like 24/7 once the gauntlet starts, so she has to like, she can't just take a nap. And even as a genetically modified human, she doesn't have to sleep as much as regular people. She can take like a 2-hour nap, but she knows that her sponsors would not like that if she took a 2-hour nap, so she's like taking stimulants and stuff because if there are side effects to the stimulants, but if she takes them, then they don't have to watch her sleep and stuff like that and ruin the pacing of what the sponsors want for this gauntlet. It's a very interesting look into celebrity on top of all of the other horrific things going on in the series. But I'm really enjoying it, and this actually makes me a lot more excited to read A Study in Drowning, which I wanted to read for years, but it hasn't been like super high up on my TBR, but I feel like it's creeping its way up because I'm really, really liking this one. Hello, good morning. We just booked a hotel to go to Allie's book signing tomorrow night. Is that tomorrow? Say Monday? What day is it? Yes, it's tomorrow. I had an ARC copy of Allie's book. I'll leave the vlog down below where I believe I talked about it. I think I read it before I started the vlog though. But this is her debut novel. If you didn't know, she's a member of Team Star Kid, and she's doing a book signing in LA, which is like a 6-7 hour drive depending on traffic from where we are right now. So we're gonna go to her book signing. Also, Mariah is performing at the book signing, and I'm very excited for that. They won't tell us what she's performing. We also finally got information on a digital ticket for The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals, which was the show of Star Kids that we went and saw in LA a little over a month ago. Is that how long it's been? I think it's been about a month, maybe give or take a week or two. And they've been working on the digital ticket because the cast got sick the last weekend, so I feel like that kind of threw off a lot of their plans. But I'm excited to go see Allie, and I think a few members of Team Star Kid as well as her are going to be at her book signing because they've been commenting on her stuff. But yeah, I did a whole review of this on my Bookstagram. I also have an entire review video that I'll leave linked down below that I filmed literally right after I finished it because I read this about a month ago at this point. And it's a great debut if you really like post-apocalyptic or like pre-apocalyptic, because it's about them in a time period where they find out that the world is going to end in 25 days. And then it's about a road trip of them going from New York City and this man and his partner who are traveling, and then a friend of theirs joins them for the cross-country road trip. And as somebody who has done this road trip, in some ways, in many of the ways, I recognize a lot of the stops, which I thought was really fun. There is also a lot of religious trauma representation in here. Specifically, the character was Mennonite, which is an offshoot of Amish, if you didn't know that. And I related a lot to the religious trauma portions of this. So I'm considering spending some time today, because it's not very long. It's like under 200 pages. I'm considering spending some time today annotating this, because Allie's going to be signing them at her book signing. And I will obviously try to get clips to put into this vlog for that. But I also might make some bracelets. I have several audiobooks on my Libby right now, mostly about Christian nationalism, if we're being honest. And I think I might sit here and make a handful of bracelets while listening to some audiobooks today. Later on today, though, because I have to go get some of the hang drying laundry, and we're watching the kids for a little bit this afternoon. So that is your morning update. I think I'm going to, I might not fully reread this, but I will probably flip through and like highlight and tab and stuff. That's the plan for the morning. Hello, long time no update. I did, in fact, reread Allie's book, and I also made some, I'm good at YouTubing. Oh, that's terrible lighting. Slightly better. I made some bracelets as well for a little bit. So we have reached the end of our show. The idea and theme was to match the cover, and they have these little eyeballs on them. I made Star Kid bracelets very similar to this for Guy, and then I annotated the book. This book is under 200 pages, so it is very quick to read. I read it in like, I think 3 hours the first time, and I had more skim read it in like an hour and a half to annotate it. And I'm going to have Allie sign it tomorrow. And again, it depends on how much footage I get. If I get a bunch of footage, I might make it its own video and put only a couple clips in here, or all of it will go in this vlog. We'll see. We'll see how I'm doing. We're making the 4.5, 5-hour drive to LA tomorrow, and Allie's going to sign my book, hopefully. I've also chatted with her on there, and I'm also really excited to check out this bookstore because it looks really cute. But me and my partner, as I've been saying, are going to spend the evening watching Nightmare Time. We are on episode 3 of season 2. And I think there's only 5 episodes. So that's what we're doing. It's a very Star Kid-centric week. It cracks me up when my partner actually gets really into the Star Kid things. But yeah, I'm finishing packing an overnight bag to take to LA tomorrow. And maybe I'll actually remember to vlog every other time I've been to LA, which has only been like 2 or 3 times. I forget to vlog because I get so distracted, because it's usually for a Star Kid event, and the ADHD is just all over the place. So we're going to try to remember to vlog as much as possible. I told my partner that he is in charge of pictures while I am in charge of video. We'll see how it goes. I'm actually going to remember to bring my mic and everything with me. I keep them in this little bag so I can like throw it in my purse without them getting damaged. But yes, that is the plan for the evening. And I'll have much more exciting footage tomorrow, hopefully. Hello, we just got to our hotel. The event starts in, I think, 3 hours, and I realized I forgot all of my makeup. I don't wear makeup very often, so I didn't even think about it. So I just DoorDashed some from Five Below. That's where we're at on that. But I'm going to, I think, change my earrings. I can't do anything about the makeup until it gets here, which should be in, I think it says like 30 minutes. And I will probably take some clips when I get ready later, but yeah, we're in LA. We did it. Hopefully I get a lot of footage. I'm going to have people remind me to actually take clips. When a man picks up your DoorDash order. What is this?
He's so for real.
So moved by what both of you said, and this book of like actually coming back to community can create home. It can create bravery in times of loss and grief. It can help us see each other in ways that we didn't before. And yeah, that's what I found in her and in myself as this character went through her grief. She also found a lot of her strength in the sense that it felt like with me of it's kind of do or die. It's time to be the person that you want to be while you are going through the hardest thing of your life. And it's wild that we can live with that duality. But yeah, so it's a little song. It's got I don't think it's like devastating. I think there's like hope in it. Hopefully we can hear. Yeah, it's called Will the World Still End? Unhappy, been grateful all at once. Was this how it was when the ending had begun? Call him why you call him, the torch being transferred. I'll take over, your ask will be answered. Chickadee, you're just a baby. If I decide it's time to drive, will the clarity just follow? If I tell the story right, will the world still end tomorrow? Will my world still end tomorrow? Oh, his forward motion, I can see it too. It's in these quiet moments where I feel the most like you. He'll meet us at the end, says my only friend, who's never known to be mistaken. But I can feel myself forgetting. If I decide it's time to drive, will the clarity just follow? If I tell the story right, will the world still end tomorrow? Will my world still end tomorrow? With no audience around, there's no point in closure now. I can't resist this. With no birds to make a sound, I'll hold down the battleground, painted in your image. If I decide it's time to drive, if I tell the story right, will the world still end? Will my world still end? I think it will. 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 I think it
I'm not getting my mic out. You're getting phone quality audio. But we are on our way back from LA right now. We should be home in about 2 hours or about halfway back. But Allie's event was so good, and I will definitely chat more about it when we go home. But I had such a good time. She was so nice. I took some photos with her. I recorded Mariah's song, which will be included earlier in this video, but I'm so happy that we came all the way out here. It is like a 5-hour drive, and she was even like, you drove so far, because I've been chatting with her online. But I feel like it was completely worth it. We also saw a lot more of LA than I have the other times that I've been here. I think this is my 3rd or 4th time out here. And we got to go to another bookstore. We got some really, really good burrito tacos, which I will chat more about. Ugh, it was such a good trip. And we have a couple hours drive back. And then I think I'm going to end this vlog tomorrow. So I'll give you a recap of the trip and everything and the whole book signing. And then we'll end the vlog, and that'll be up for my weekly vlog on Friday. Hello, we are home, and I am finally giving you an update. So I wanted to start off with talking about the book signing itself. So I did get to meet Allie. I have a picture with her. I will put it here. And I also recorded Mariah's song. If you are just here for that, I'm probably going to go back and like do an intro to this, because I know there's going to be a lot of Star Kid people who wanted me specifically to record Mariah's song. And she wrote a song about the characters in this book, specifically from the perspective of Lacey. So yeah, I will do that in editing. But also, Allie signed my book. I got a picture with her. I got to hug her. I got to talk with her for a little bit, and it was a really good event. She also had 2 friends do what is essentially stand-up or like little comedy sketches at the beginning of her book signing. One of the poor girls was like, from my perspective, late, and she just kind of had to jump into her story, and it was very emotional. It was a very impactful event. It's very different from the few book signings that I have been to, which I really appreciated. I also just wanted to mention, I did recognize a lot of the members of Team Star Kid that were there. I know Kurt and Kim and James and Brian Rosenthal and Corey Lubowich. I recognized them, but I didn't want to make this event about them, which is why I did not go up and say hi to them. So if any of you, for some reason, are watching this video, as well as Mariah, obviously, who sang the song, I should have said hi. I was really tired. We had just driven almost 6 hours from Vegas to go to this event, so I was exhausted. Allie even invited us out for dinner afterwards, but it was already like 10 o'clock, and I do not do well after my bedtime. So I regret not saying hi to them. So if you recognize me and you happen to be watching this video, Star Kid, I apologize. I will say hi next time. But I saw a bunch of people actually buy this book. I had a friend from Star Kid Twitter, actually. They had flown in from, I forget where they're from. If you're watching this, I apologize. Please remind me. And I convinced them to buy the book and take it home with them, because it's a tiny little book and it would be fine on a plane. It doesn't add any extra weight. And I hope that everybody who got this book ended up crying, because I certainly did. I've read it twice. I had an ARC copy of it, an early review copy, if you didn't know what an ARC was. And so I felt like I was one of the few people there who had read it, other than like Mariah obviously had read it, because her song was so impactful and so sad for people who have read the book. So I really hope that once more people have read it, that they go back and listen to Mariah's song. I do have the footage of it. It's not the best footage I've ever taken, because I was in the back row, but you'll be able to hear her song. And this book means so much to me, not only from the experience of having the chance to meet Allie as a person who has been a fan of Star Kid for almost 15 years, like since I was in high school. It's wild to me that I have actually gotten to meet several of them. And the one thing I like about Vegas, I complain about Vegas all the time because we're not living here permanently. We're staying with friends, which is a whole nother conversation that I'll have at another time. But I do like how easy of a drive it is to LA, because a lot of the things that I want to do, not only as a creative, but as a queer person, is be in spaces like that where there is so much love and so much joy and so much celebration of not only books but just like of humanity and of real parts of humanity that I feel like a lot of us don't talk about. So I hope more people get to read this. I'm really hoping that like Kurt or somebody ends up reading this and reviewing it on their channel, because Kurt has been posting more about his creative process. I hope that we see more Star Kids read this and talk about it online, because I think and it's an important read. Also, Allie, if you're watching this, yes, I will send you the photos of my annotations. I know I said I would do that, but I have not done that yet, but it's coming. But yeah, if you're just here for the Allie content and just here for the Star Kid content, I don't blame you. I understand. I hope you enjoyed all of the clips that I did get. I also do need to send Wildling Press some photos, because I said I was going to do that. Because I think they're based in North Carolina, which are the people who published Allie's book. And I'm not sure that any of their people were at the event, so they asked me to get photos, which I tried. But also, again, I was exhausted. But yeah, I didn't end up buying any books from the bookstore, mainly because I did this entire trip on a budget, which also falls from the fact that me and my partner's living situation, it's a whole thing about capitalism. If you've been watching my vlogs or you want to hear more about it, I've been ranting and not even raving, mostly ranting about it in other clips. But we did end up going to get burrito tacos, which I've had burrito tacos across the country. I'm from Ohio. Me and my partner are both from Ohio. He's lived in other states. I've lived in like 2 other states. And a lot of the time when we travel, we end up getting burrito tacos because it's one of our favorites. And I want to tell you that this place, the name is escaping. I think it's called Burrito something. This place is some of the best burrito tacos, or tacos in general, that I've ever had. So if you are in LA, or it's very close to the El Portal, if you're a Star Kid fan, it's a great place to get food before like going to a show or going to anything in that area. It was so good. And we also, I wanted to talk about the fact that we literally, normally when we leave LA, there's like 2 main highways out of here that go straight to Vegas. For whatever reason, both of those highways had huge backups at the time that we left. Like, I think it was around like 4 or 5 o'clock. And we didn't want to get stuck in that traffic, because obviously we know the infamous LA traffic is terrible. So we took a random side route that Waze took us through. And it turns out that this random side route went straight through the Angeles forest, like the national forest, which means you're driving through the mountains on very, very, very windy roads. And we did all of this at sunset. I'm sure I have clips before this. And that was an experience, because we were in that forest for like 2 hours. And I was like, are we ever going to get out of the forest? And as somebody who has also been on many a road trip, like we drove from Ohio to Vegas when we first moved out here, it felt like driving through the Colorado mountains, which if you've ever done that, or if you've never driven through mountains and going up and down grades, it was very stressful for me as somebody who has a lot of car anxiety, even though I wasn't the one driving. But yeah, I also just kind of wanted to chat about something really quick before I show you the books that I did get at a different bookstore while we were there. I don't even think I've mentioned that yet. We did go to, Allie gave us a recommendation for, what's it called? The Iliad bookstore, yes, because about the Iliad and the Odyssey, which is this beautiful bookstore. I'll post pictures of the outside of it. They also had bookstore cats. There was a whole, I saw 2 of the cats. I think there's 3 of them. One of the cats was a little gray one that kept running into the back room constantly for the 2 hours that I was there. Every time they opened the door to like restock something, and then getting very angry that they were stuck inside the closed back room, even though they were the ones that put themselves there. And also the orange cat, who I saw several times, was very nice, who I petted. I'm a big bookstore cat person. I love when bookstores have cats. And the orange cat decided to lay on the cash register as I was trying to check out. So apparently it didn't want me to leave. But I did get 3 books there. So I am going to chat about those real quick before I get into my rant about COVID things. I also am quickly going to say I did come home to Harley LaRue's new book, which is House of Rain. And it's beautiful. It's a sapphic gothic book. That's all I know about it. I love Harley LaRue. I've been reading her since her Soul to Take came out like years ago. And I've read most, if not all, of her books. I can't remember. I know I've read The Losers. I know I've read all of her. No, I haven't read the last Soul of a Witch. I haven't read that one yet. But I'm going to quickly show you the 3 books I got from Iliad Bookstore. I got Gun Church by Reed Farrell Coleman. This is a weird little mystery slash thriller that has something to do with literally a cult that starts about guns after a shooting, I believe, in a rural mining town. It sounded really weird. The reviews were very interesting. That's right up my alley for bookstores. Also, it took me a while to figure out while I was in there. They have all of their prices written on the inside flap unless it's a special edition. And then I got The Nutcracker Bleeds by Lainey Lenore. I've heard of Lainey Lenore many times. I know she's a horror writer. This is a Nutcracker retelling, and it also has really good reviews. So this was $10, but I felt like that was worth it, especially for like what looks like an indie published book. So I'm hoping these 2 will be read this month for October. And then on my nonfiction kick, as I constantly am, also for $5, I got Rural Poverty in the United States, edited by Ann R. Tickemeyer, Jennifer Sherman, and Jennifer Warlick. And this is literally about rural towns and the poverty levels. And it's something I'm fascinated by because something that my brain just cannot comprehend and hold in there for any reason are the people in rural towns who do not have a lot of money, who are being literally fucked over by this system, who support Trump and this administration. I don't understand it. I don't understand the like hero worship that a lot of these people have for him. And I do believe this was written before him. I think this is in 2017. Is that right? Yes, 2017. So part of that might be mentioned towards the end of this, but this was a very interesting read for me. And I've been collecting a lot more nonfiction. Oh, is this annotated? Oh, and it's annotated. I didn't even flip through it. But these were my 3 purchases at the Iliad Bookstore, and I highly recommend it if you were in town to go check that out. It was a great recommendation from Allie, because even when I was searching on Google Maps, it didn't show up. I don't know why that is. And I will be right back, Chloe. Okay, I'm back. My partner was asking a question, and he's not very much somebody who's like on YouTube, so I try not to like include him in clips if you're wondering why you never see him. But anyways, I wanted to have a little chat about something I realized with this, because I'm very much someone who can chat with people online all day long, especially since COVID. That is how I have made certain friends, especially after leaving my religious church cult. That is how I've maintained a lot of friendships, because a lot of my friends do not live near me. In general, that has been the case. But I realized something during this process is that I am, ever since COVID, I very much am very bad at maintaining, like, taking the online friendship to in-person friendship, especially if it's in a group setting. Like, for example, Allie invited us to go out to eat, but she had a huge group of people at this table. And I just, not only was I exhausted, but I don't like being in large groups. I don't know if that's some sort of like trauma from COVID, because we know that COVID is passing, and we were told for years and years and years, especially for those of us who are still COVID conscious for the most part, that being around people is going to get you sick. I don't know if it's some like mental trauma from that, or if it's more of a like issue with the damn phones, as we always say, about how it's really hard to, I don't know what the words I'm searching for are. I feel like there is a very big difference, at least in my brain. Maybe it's something I need to work through in like therapy or something. But there's a very big difference about chatting with people online and just having like very good conversations on there, and like forming actual friendships through that. And as somebody who has made friends online before and like taken them outside of the internet and like in person, you'd think I would be more used to this, but like I haven't done it since COVID, is what I realized last night. And I don't know, maybe it's just me doubting myself. Like, I should have talked to the other members of Starkid, like at least Kurt and Kim, or even Mariah, James, any of them. Even Brian. Like, I haven't seen Brian Rosenthal since I went to the Apocalypse tour back in like When was that? 2011 when I graduated high school. Like, God, I haven't seen some of those people in a while, and I feel very strange going up to, I don't want to say celebrities. They're not like big celebrities, but going up to people I admire so much in a creative aspect, I have more of an issue going up and talking to those people than I would like a random big celebrity. Like, if my example, I kept explaining to my partner as I was talking about this because I felt that I didn't say hi to any of them and that I didn't go out to eat with Allie and her big group of people. I was explaining that if like Brad Pitt walked down the street of LA, I would not care. I could go up and say hi to him. I don't know what I would want to, because big celebrities like that have never meant anything to me. But when it comes to creative people that I admire, especially within theater, as somebody who did a lot of community theater, who did a lot of theater in school, something about that is very different to me, because those are people I would actually like to be friends with. So I care more about what they think of me. I don't know if this is making sense. This is me trying to process this thought verbally to make sense of it. But I feel like it is much harder for me to talk to people that I admire creatively than it is for me to talk to like a big celebrity that anybody would like be starstruck by, for lack of a better term. Because the Star Kid people are people I would actually love to work with in some way. Even though I haven't gone back to theater since COVID or since getting out of my religious cult, those are people I very much enjoy the work that they do. I very much admire the stories that they tell. I very much admire all of the things that all of them do outside of Star Kid, even in their own like day-to-day lives. So it's not so much me being starstruck as it is unsure of how to break the ice, if that makes sense. If you're a member of Star Kid, I hope that makes sense. If you're watching this, hi. I've been a friend of Star Kid for like 15 years. A friend? I wish. I've been a fan of Star Kid for like 15 years, so I don't know. I don't know how to make those relationships anymore. And that obviously applies to things outside of creative endeavors as well. I feel like a lot of us are just struggling with making friends, even those of us who are older and who have done it like their whole lives. Like, I'm 32 years old. I've made a lot of friends in my life, and I used to be really, really good at it, especially when I was doing a new show every few months, when I was doing theater constantly in my early 20s and like teens. I was really good at making new relationships and new friendships. And I don't know what has changed other than COVID in that aspect. And it's been a really weird thing that this trip somehow reminded me of, because there was a big difference to me in going to a big Star Kid event where everybody knows who all of the members of Star Kid are. At least the majority of people there do. A lot of the people there have seen other shows in person. Like, I've been to 3 or 4 Star Kid events in person. I just went to Guy like a month ago. I went to Cinderella's Castle last year. I went to VHS last year. I'm hoping to go to VHS this year if they end up doing it, even though they haven't announced anything. I also, as I said, went to Apocalypse Tour like years ago. It's been a really weird thing for me to reckon with when it comes to talking to new people. If they are someone I admire creatively, there seems to be a mental block of me wanting to talk to them and wanting to break the ice. Once I am in conversations with people, I'm usually okay. I also have no problem like complimenting or talking to them online, be it whether it's DMs or comments or whatever. But there is some sort of mental block with me talking to them in person. And I don't know if it's just I don't want them to feel bothered. Like, they're not big celebrities. They're not used to getting stopped on the street unless it's an actual Star Kid event. I don't know. It's just a thought process I've been having since not last night, the night before when we were there. It was a very interesting realization for me. But yeah, I really loved the event. I'm hoping that we can stay over here so I can keep going to events like that in LA. I would love to be closer, but California is currently out of our price range unless anybody knows somebody offering jobs and such and that. There's a whole thing that me and my partner are going through trying to find housing in the current administration and the current job market, which is terrible. As somebody who left a teaching position, I'm not sure if I could go back to teaching. I might have to with the current situation, but Yeah, that's my rant of the end of this vlog. I am going to end this early so I can get a lot of editing done. And then I will start my weekly vlog for next week, hopefully soon. But I hope you all enjoyed this. If you did, please leave me the theater mask emoji or a rainbow emoji in the comments below. Please, please go check out Allie's book. It is well worth a read. It's only like 160 pages. So even if you're a very slow reader, even if you don't read very much, I feel like this is a very accessible book for a lot of people. And also, Allie, I will send you my annotations. I need to actually remember that after I edit this video. But I hope you all enjoyed this. Thank you all for watching, and I will see all of you guys next time.